Hi, I'm Musik and you're watching Artist Life. Well, welcome to my studio. Today I'd like to talk to you about how the old Impressionists may have started their paintings and the steps that they may have gone through to finishing their paintings. Now please keep in mind that these are my thoughts and this is what I've been taught attending different art schools. Since I've had great success with these steps, I'd like to share them with you. So if you're ready, let's start. The artist that we will be discussing today is Claude Monet. Now, if you want to learn more about this artist, the link to our previous video is in the description below. But before I get started, I want to talk to you about 4 different steps that the Impressionists might have taken to completing their painting. And also, I want to show you the picture that we will be working from. It's Monet's Waterlilies, as you can see. It's right there. Okay, and also the colors that we will be using are as follows: ultramarine blue, cad yellow, alizarin red, titanium white, Prussian blue, ivory black, lemon yellow. So here I have a white canvas, and the frame that you see is the same proportion as the water lily painting that I am going to try to reproduce on this canvas. And the first thing that they actually did was to take the white canvas and tint the white canvas with a specific thin color. Now, why did they do that? Well, my thought is that they might have done this because they wanted a good balance between their dark tones and their light tones. Before they actually start applying thick impressionistic paint, I believe that that's what they might have done. The color of the tint is usually decided on what kind of mood you're trying to create through your painting. Now for this painting, I'm going to be using a gray color. That's because you can see a stain of the color seeping through the other rich colors on the original painting. So as you can see, I have that here, and right there in this corner, right there, you could see this grayish tint that he used. So that's what I will be doing, is to tint this entire canvas. Okay, so let's start. The color of the tint is a cool gray color, and I'll make this color by mixing a little bit of ultramarine blue. Keep in mind that 3 primary colors will give you that shade of gray, and the white will finalize it. However, because your canvas is white, you don't really need to use titanium white when you're tinting your canvas. Titanium white will make things very opaque, and sometimes you don't want that. You want things to be transparent. Okay? So then, what I normally like to do is take a hint of turpenoid. See how it becomes watery? And I will be using this color for my gray. So I'm going to bring that color that I made right here and just stain it. Now with my paper towel, what I can do is I can spread this color that I have made. So right there. Now I hope you can see this. I know it's a little light. So what I'm doing is I'm going over it again, and let's just test it with the paper towel and see what happens. So with the paper towel, you wipe it. Okay, just like that, see? Right there. And I think this is good enough. We're going to start putting our dark tones in different spots so you could see this. And then what we'll do is we'll sketch on top of that. So I think with the water lilies that might be easier. So if you notice a little bit of black with the green. Now the black will actually desaturate the color that you have, and then with that in mind you are shading in all the darks, and also keep in mind that you're actually sketching while you're shading in your darks. Okay, so all this area right there is going to be dark, and also this corner. Okay, so the idea is to capture depth right away. Okay, so this portion is dark, and then you have all this area that's also dark. And then maybe the top portion is dark right there. Okay, I am really not using a lot of paint, just very little amount is sufficient. And also, as you remember earlier, I said to hang on to your tint. Sometimes it seeps through the painting and you don't want to cover the entire canvas, so keep the stain that we have seeping through. Okay, so now that I have applied this color, what I can do is I can take the paper towel that I had and just smooth out and take away all the unnecessary terpenoids that might be found. Okay, so then what you'll do is you'll sketch on top of this. So let's talk about that. Okay, so we have ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow, alizarin red. All three primary colors will actually help us. So now we have ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow, and alizarin red. And with a little bit of terpenoid, let's just make it watery, because I am going to start sketching out the main shapes, as you can see. Okay, here we go. So there's this little portion. Right there. So what I'm doing is I'm sketching with this color, and I am sketching in the largest shapes first. Then you'll notice that approximately right here there's a lily pad, right there is another one, right here is one, and then all this area right there, and then there's one on top. Okay, so now what you do is you block in the colors. Okay, so please keep these steps in mind. So far what we've done is we've tinted the entire canvas, so that's step one. Step two, we went ahead and did the dark areas, and then step three came back and did the sketching on top of it. But usually step two and step three should be reversed. You should do tint first, sketch next, and then darks and lights afterwards. But because this painting's so loosely painted that when you're doing a reproduction, this way makes more sense. Now with step four, what I want to do is I want to use thick paint. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, so the colors that I need for the bluish part on the painting, with the ultramarine blue and a hint of red, just a little bit. And let's take some white. Okay, so I'm just making that stain that you could see. Now, that's a good color, and I do need more, so let's take ultramarine blue with white and then alizarin red. Okay. All right, so that's the color that I'll be using for the water. So while I'm at it, I think I'm going to be making the pinkish colors. So with that, I need red. And let's grab some white here. Okay, now I need to desaturate this. So let's take a hint of yellow with more red and a hint of blue right there, and then white should do it. Okay, so that's going to be my colors for my flowers. Okay. Okay, well, what I want to do now is start applying the blues here. Now, if you notice, I'm not using a lot of paint, and I am not using any medium, because medium as far as linseed oil or liquid or Gelkite, because I want to leave a lot of dry areas. I don't know if you could see that here. Let me just point them out to you. Like here, you have the canvas seeping through. So I'm painting pretty much towards the edge of the drawing. Okay, so that I can just try to eliminate the hard lines. Okay, so right there. Okay. So I'm cross-hatching, if you see, right there. Just trying to keep the edges as soft as possible. Right there. And just about right there, okay? Okay. Then I want to take the large brush and just soften it by just fanning, like so. Okay, then I am going to start by putting in the flowers. So here's one. Right there. There's one on top. There. So there's a few here, as you can see. There. Okay, and also there is a few here. There. And then let's see, some up here. If it's too wet, you can always try to wipe that. Right there. Okay, so here again, go on top of what you did just to add some changes. Well guys, before I continue, I just wanted to tell you that I'm using linseed oil just to make the paint flow better on the canvas. And also, I am planning on going with thick paint now. I wanted to start using thick paint just to build it up slightly. Keep in mind that Waterlilies from Monet, he did not really use a lot of paint. So I am going to try to follow in his footsteps. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I am using green now just to build it up slightly. As you could see, linseed oil tends to leave some sort of a shine. So again, the objective of this is not to cover up the entire canvas, and also as you're painting, just focus on your darks and your lights. Okay, so let's just go ahead and create this subtle change right there, here, and you have a little bit of green that goes throughout this area. There. You know, the oil, the medium linseed oil, it really helps you to spread the paint. It glides very smoothly, so it is satisfying. So right there. Okay, now I am trying to again hold on to my value. That's important because that's going to help you to get lightness. And as I put my brush strokes on the canvas, I am trying to hold on to my drawing as well. So if I see anything wrong with my drawing, I always want to tackle it and adjust it. Okay, so here in this area, it's a little warmer. Alright, so let's just put that in. And it seems that he used alizarin red throughout this area because it is somewhat warm. Okay. Okay, so now I want to just sketch. these changes here. And right there. So I'm not trying to get exactness, am I? I'm just trying to follow in his footsteps, because if I understand his brush strokes, it will make this painting look more like a Monet painting. But if I try to copy every single brush stroke, it's just going to start backfiring on me. Okay, so I added some white along with my yellow. Okay. Right there. That's it. Let's go over this brush stroke here and just put some changes. Right there, there. Now I added Prussian blue. Just wanted to just bring this in here. Here, these areas, some orange there. It just seems that he probably didn't have much time when he was, painting this, so he quickly sketched it more, sketched in the brush strokes more than anything else. So now these strong dark areas that you see, what I'll do is I'll go over these again with another color, just to keep them softer, okay? So if you notice, I am holding on to my canvas, so that's super important. Now I do switch my brush. Holding it this way helps me, and also this way sometimes to sketch with. And forgive me, I failed to mention that I am standing up. When I started this project, I was sitting, but sometimes it's easier to stand. So you need to find your comfort zone when you're painting. Just make sure that whether it's sitting or standing, you are feeling comfortable, because that will affect the way you paint. So it's very important. And also, yellow and black tends to give you a nice shade of green sometimes. So now I am applying that color, black and yellow, which gives me more like a desaturated green, and I am just softening these up, and I am going to go over these blues one more time that I started the painting with. Right there, right there. Okay, so let's just clean our brush. And now, put some highlights here again. That's orange. right there, and he seems to have added this little area here. There. Okay. So now I'm just going to take this color again and just fill in certain areas that I missed earlier. Okay. And then sometimes you can adjust the shape of the area that you're painting, so it's very interesting. And if you look at my brush stroke, sometimes I can push. I don't do this often, but just when you push, sometimes the purpose of that is to soften the areas that you're working on. Because when you pull, you tend to apply thick paint, but when you push it, you know, you kind of scrape. You don't do that often, but sometimes it is handy. Well guys, I think I'm going to call it done on this project, but I hope that you have a greater understanding now of how Monet painted. Again, this painting of his, it's a very direct form of painting, mostly sketching with a brush, but I wanted to go over a few things with you and leave you with this. So keep in mind that if you simplify your project, it guides you to knowing what to do next. So that's why I went with the 4 different steps. So again, the 4 steps were tint, sketch, tone, and finalize it with thick paint, right? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, if you liked the video, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and oh yeah, don't forget to share. So until next time, happy painting. Bye.